Hey guys, it's Glide and I am so excited sharing to you my ISBB rotation during the skills lab. I admit it was a tiring day and a long day, but definitely worth it. The learnings both in theory and skills are essential in stepping up into my future hospital duties. With this experience, I was able to love more my course and appreciate how this profession contribute in giving healthcare and save lives. To begin with, let's start with RBC washing. Fill 3/4 of the tube with NSS, so this time the tube has whole blood in it. Then cover the tube with paraffin. Then invert the tube 3 to 5 times. Now centrifuge the samples for 2 minutes at 3,400 RPM. After we centrifuge, we observe a supernatant. We just remove the supernatant and make sure that we will not disturb the settled RBC. Repeat the washing, centrifuging, and removing of supernatant 3 times. And now wash RBC is ready. Let us now proceed for the preparation of 5% red cell suspension. Prepare 2 tubes labeled with 4 ml and 6 ml. In the first tube labeled with 4 ml, transfer 200 UL of washed RBC and 3,800 UL of normal saline solution. On the second tube labeled with 6 ml, transfer 300 UL of washed RBC and 5,700 UL of normal saline solution. Now is the most commonly performed in blood banking, which is the ABO1RH forward typing in slide method. Label the paper with the patient's name as well as anti-A, anti-B, and D. Place 1 drop of anti-A, then 1 drop of anti-B, and 1 drop of anti-D on a clean labeled glass slide. Add to each drop of reagent on the slide 1 drop of the 2 to 5% red cell suspension of the red cells that are to be tested. Using 3 clean applicator sticks for each reagent, mix the reagent and the red cell thoroughly. Make sure that you spread the mixture over an area. And tilt the slide for 2 minutes. Presence of agglutination means positive reaction. And now we will perform the tube method. So first you label the tube with anti-A, anti-B, RH, known A, and known B. We will be needing anti-A, B, and D anti-sera as well as the 2 to 5% suspension of known A and B red cells and the patient's serum or plasma. In the test tube, place 1 drop of anti-A, anti-B, anti-D, and in the known A and known B, add 2 drops of known serum or plasma. Tubes labeled with anti-A, B, and D, place 1 drop of 2 to 5% red cell suspension. Into the last 2 tubes, add 1 drop of A reagent red cells and 1 drop of B reagent red cells. Now our tube are ready for centrifugation for 15 seconds at 3,400 RPM. Read macroscopically with a direct light source for the presence or absence of agglutination. After reading, we can compare now the serum test result with those obtained with the red cells. Let us now proceed to cross-matching using gel method. So first, we need to dilute the 50 UL of donor's red cells with 1 ml DG gel sol solution to prepare the 1% red cell suspension. Then mix it before transferring to the gel card. So this is the gel card. So first, before dispensing, we need to label it. We are ready now to dispense 10 UL of the donor's red cell suspension to the corresponding well. Do not forget to dispense in 45-degree angle. Set your pipette because we are going to dispense 25 UL of the patient's serum or plasma into the same well. Then we incubate for 15 minutes at 37 degrees Celsius. After the incubation, we are now ready to centrifuge the gel card for 9 minutes. Then we are going to read and interpret the result. So if there is a presence of a red cell bottom at the bottom of the microtube, record the result as compatible. So here, as you can observe in the 4B1 tube, there is a cell bottom, which means that the donor and the recipients are compatible. Let us now begin another way of cross-matching, which is the manual method. So first, don't forget to label your tubes. Into the labeled tube, mix 2 drops of patient's plasma or serum with 1 drop of 2 to 5% donor's red cell suspension. Then add 2 drops of LISS and then mix it. Then incubate the tube at 37 degrees Celsius for 10 to 15 minutes. Then centrifuge the sample for 15 seconds at 3,400 RPM. And then after that, we observe a hemolysis and agglutination by gently resuspending the red cell bottom. Wash the red cells by filling the tube 3/4 and then repeat this procedure 3 times. Centrifuge the tube, and then after centrifuging, decant the supernatant. Repeat this procedure for 3 times. And now add 2 drops of AHG to dry cell bottom and mix well. Centrifuge for 15 seconds at 3,400 RPM and observe for agglutination. Upon viewing microscopically, it was observed that there is no agglutination. So this means that the recipients and the donors are compatible. Let us now proceed to indirect antiglobulin tests. So first, we need to label the tube. In the tube, add 2 drops of patient serum and add 1 drop of 5% group O cells red cell suspension on the same tube. Then add 2 drops of LISS mixed well. Incubate now the tube for 10 to 15 minutes at 37 degrees Celsius. After incubation, centrifuge the tube for 30 seconds at 3,400 RPM. Perform red cell washing for 3 times using normal saline solution and completely decant the final wash. Add 2 drops of AHG to the dry red cell button and mix well. Repeat centrifugation of the tube for 30 seconds at 3,400 RPM and perform washing 3 times with normal saline and completely decant the final wash. Examine the cells for agglutination and grade and record the reaction. So for the presence of agglutination or hemolysis after incubation of 37, it constitutes a positive test result. The presence of agglutination after addition of AHG is also a positive result. Let us now proceed to direct antiglobulin test procedure, which is used to determine red cells that have been coated in vivo. So first, don't forget to write your label. Dispense 1 drop of 2% to 5% suspension of red cells into a clean labeled test tube. Wash the tube 3 times with normal saline solution. Then completely decant the final wash. So we need to repeat this procedure 3 times. Then immediately add 1 drop of anti-human globulin to the cell suspension. Centrifuge for 30 seconds at 3,400 RPM. And now, lastly, we are going to examine the cells for agglutination and we grade and record the reaction. So upon viewing microscopically, it was observed that there is no agglutination present, so it means that it is DAT negative. We are done with blood banking. Now let's proceed to immunoserology. Let's begin with the manipulation of mini vidas. So first, we need to assign assays to a position. So first, we select the status screen from the main menu. Then select a section that have an available status. Then press the number key from the position where you want to place your reagent. So in my case, the available is number 6, so I choose number 6. And we are ready to select an assay or the test that we will be performing for the sample. In this video, the test that I will be performing is the TSH. Let's proceed now to assigning sample IDs to a position manually. Redirect to the status screen, then select sample ID. Then input the patient's last name. So here I just use a code. After identification, just press the return button in order to return to the main menu. Before running the sample, make sure that you will load the strip and the SPRS into a parallel position. So here first, I label the strip with the patient's name and insert 200 UL of serum in the sample well in the mini vida strip. We are now ready to load the mini vida strip at the designated position, which is position number 6. Also load the SPRS in the parallel position. Then click Start to run the sample. First test for our chromatographic assay is the AHG test or the pregnancy test. The test kit contains HCG cassette test device and we need first to label it with our last name. with a dropper. Make sure to perform these tests on a flat horizontal surface. Dispense 3 drops of patient serum in the sample well. Set timer for 5 minutes, then read the result. Presence of 2 lines, one in the test region and other in the control, indicates positive. 1 line indicates negative and invalid if there is no line in the control test. So let us now proceed to anti-HBs and HBsAg. So here we have 2 kits with 2 different test cassettes from HBsAg and anti-HBs. So first we need to label the test cassette with our last name. Dispense 3 drops of the patient's serum for HBsAb and 100 UL for HBsAg. Then set your timer for 20 minutes, then read the result. Presence of 2 pink bands means reactive and 1 band means non-reactive. Absence of C band, the assay means invalid. Next test is the anti-streptolysin O test. Need ASO latex reagent, glycine buffer, and patient serum. Into the well 1 for qualitative test, add 1 drop of serum and 1 drop of latex reagent. Into the well 2, add 1 drop of glycine chloride and 1 drop of serum plus latex reagent. Spread into the entire circle both well. Then rotate the slide for 2 minutes. Presence of agglutination means reactive. Let us now perform rapid plasma reagent test for syphilis. First, label the RPR test card with patient's name. Then, dispense 1 drop of NSS to well 2 and 3. For qualitative test, dispense 1 drop of patient serum and 1 drop of RPR reagent. For semi-quantitative test, so you need to dispense 50 UL of patient serum to well 2 and perform serial dilution until well 3. Discard the last 50 UL. Spread the serum with reagent into the entire circle and then spread also the entire circle using a single stirrer for semi-quantitative test. And rotate for 8 minutes using mechanical rotator. Read macroscopically in a wet state under a high-intensity incandescent light or strong daylight. Presence of black agglutinate indicates reactive result. Now, let us perform serial dilution. Prepare 5 tubes labeled with ST1, 2, 3, and 4, and then add 0.80 ml of NSS using serological pipette. How to manipulate the serological pipette? First, you dispense NSS up to the 0 mark and then slowly release up to the 0.8 mark and then dispense the remaining NSS into the test tube, and that's exactly you will get 0.80 ml. And repeat this into the following tubes. Add 200 UL of patient serum into the test tube 1. From test tube 1, get diluted serum of 200 UL to be transferred to tube 2 and so on and so forth. Discard the last 200 UL from tube 5. First tube is a serial dilution of 1 over 2.5, second is 1 over 5, third is 1 over 6.67, fourth is 1 over 10, and fifth is 1 over 12.5. And for our last activity in immunosero, which is a single dilution. For the first tube, add 0.60 ml of NSS and 400 UL of serum. Test tube 2 is 88 ml or 0.80 ml of NSS and 200 UL of serum. Test tube 3 is 0.85 ml and 150 UL of serum. Test tube 4 is 0.90 ml of NSS and 100 UL of serum. And lastly, test tube 5 is 0.92 ml and 80 UL of serum. Tube 1 has a dilution of 1 over 2.5. Tube 2 has a dilution of 1 over 5. Tube 3 is 1 over 6.67. Fourth is 1 over 10. And the last tube is 1 over 12.5.